are so much more than you might think you are. These are the words that are shining so brightly from my guest all the way from Perth, Australia today. She is Gwenda, and she is also a master healer, a mystic, and divine messenger who's here to guide you on a transformative journey of your spiritual evolution. I'm Jennifer Regular, your host of Awaken and Ascend, and I so appreciate all of you who are joining in and tuning in right now. So excited for the new Sacred Leaders Compass as well, which I can give you a free download for. If you look into the video description, you'll find out so much more about Gwenda there as well, including her website. And Gwenda, I'm so excited for our conversation today because I know this is going to be such an evolutionary turning point in many of our lives as we transition into 2026 and leave behind all that's transpired in 2025, but carry with us what kind of medicine it's brought for us for moving forward, for more healing, to bridge the healing with the leadership, which is a huge crux of the work that I do at Lighting the Path. But for us to awaken and ascend, it is really important for us to understand who we truly are. And I know that's the big part of the work that you do. So, Gwenda, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Jennifer, it is. I'm bursting at the seams like the beautiful flowers behind you, just bloom out and bloom out. It is truly, truly so awesome to speak to you, to someone who we share the same path. We really do resonate and understand what it is to be on that path and to have that transcendence. And yes, to come out of 2025, I love your words with the medicine that 2025 has brought for us, and move through that with our wisdom and with our greater self. You are so much more than you could possibly know.
Yes. And it's interesting, isn't it? Like, why are we so much more than we think we are? Why do we think ourselves so small or not enough? Or we know we talk a lot about, subconscious programming and society and authority and all of those things. And yet, why does that override everything that we know inside, but can't seem to access with all the noise?
Oh, that is one of my most favorite conversations, and I have it extensively with my son, who is, I'm going to say, highly evolved. He's done amazing connection and in insights, and I love speaking with him and yourself about this, because if we have a look around, and I was just talking to my husband about this yesterday, everywhere we look are screens and electricity, fluoro lights, even these new down lights. So he and I have just been to the East Coast, where I was a portrait in a beautiful event called If She Spoke. And I was one of the speakers, and it was amazing. And every woman that shared her story of from pain and struggle to blooming and being empowered, it was incredible to listen to them, and you would go, wow, how is it that people experience such horrendous beginnings to their life, or even in teenagehood, throughout their life, when really we are so extremely powerful. But the place that we stayed in, everywhere we went in the public space, we were bombarded with noise of huge screens, and each one had something different on it. So your whole field was just being smashed with, dog racing, horse racing, rugby, football, and then just noise, like music playing in the background, and then noise from the ceiling, as if they had this, on flow of music. And I said, oh, my word, I cannot stay in here.
Yeah.
I need to get out. So one of the reasons that we cannot access that incredible, truly powerful part of ourselves is because of all the noise that is around. And many people don't realize that that is preventing that connection. It is, a lot of people are probably like, oh, so, I hear this all the time. Stillness, quiet, silence, time in nature that is where we can really connect with that powerful, amazing self. But it's not a story, it's true. It's the only way, because when you've got all this external hubbub and you've been raised by the systems of education, medical, and family traits, family ways of behaving and patterning, there's a lot that's gone on from the time you arrived. So, yeah, it just really blocks us out.
It does, and it so dysregulates our nervous system as well. And so it burns us out, it drains us, and it makes us really, really tired, but
Yeah.
also really afraid to step into our own way of being. You know,
Oh,
we want to
wow.
be
Yes.
seen and heard, and yet we fear it at the same time, don't
Yes.
we?
Yeah, wow. That is such a powerful comment. Absolutely 1000%, Jennifer.
Mm,
Yep. Yep. Oh my gosh, as I take people on their path, which you will have done too, I find they get so far and they're really enjoying it and embracing it. And then all of a sudden the brakes go on and I'm like, what happened? And they say, well, I don't know if my husband's going to like who I'm going to be
mhm.
when I've done this, or I don't know if I'm going to know me if I keep going down this path, and that always fascinates me. I'm like, wow, what is there to be frightened of? But I know myself as I am now. Yes, you know yourself as you are now because that's how you have learnt to be accepted, learnt to be loved, learnt to feel like you're making some sort of headway or success in your life. But that is a veneer. It's a version of you that isn't the real one. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the fear
And
is huge.
the fear is huge, and it's often mostly defined by what we're doing. What do you
Yes.
do? And
Yeah.
just what do you do with your life, the productivity and the pressure, rather than the
Yeah.
peace and the presence. You talk about stillness. And I agree. I admit there was a time in my life where when I heard the word relax, I would actually cringe. I didn't like that.
Yeah.
They
No,
call
it
me
connotates.
energizer after all, I just and why would I do that? Because, I felt like I was thriving under stress and of the
Mm,
hustle and, you know,
yeah.
doing so many different things all at once. And I was actually really good at it,
Yep. Me
But
too.
you know what I found, Glenda, is that it wasn't fulfilling. It actually
No.
wasn't freeing
Oh,
because,
far
when you
from
have a moment and it's like, it feels uncomfortable and you get anxious. It's like, oh, I should be doing something, and
it.
then
Mhm.
you're chasing something, looking for something. We have so much habitual tendencies that I think is actually an addiction.
Mm.
We're always
Could be seen as,
chasing
yeah,
something, yeah, and go through a
yeah.
withdrawal, literally where it's really uncomfortable. We're almost shaking when we
Mm.
stop, and get confused and disoriented. But really, it's an opportunity to come back into alignment and reorient ourselves to what really matters
Yeah.
and to who we truly are, why we came here at this time, and what we're meant to be doing that actually we lead from our actual being, that place of stillness. So I'm really excited about you getting into like your soul awakening journey and your work and how we evolve and how we can actually access those parts of us that are magnificent, that are powerful, to access that inner power, that peace, the presence, the liberation that comes from not having to conform or to perform to society or parental standards. So bring it on. Bring it on.
The connotation is that you're being lazy. Like when you said
Mm,
relax, huh? Can't do that. If I'm relaxing, someone's going, look, it could be mum, could be grandmother, it could be
right?
father, it could be anyone, best friend going, what are you doing? And see, there's that word doing.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Hmm.
Um, and you like, well, I was having 10 minutes to relax. And the questioning looks, it's like relaxing. Like you
Yeah.
say, it's not a thing because it's not a doing.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, like you, Jennifer, I was a absolute master of multitasking. And I was so proud of what I could achieve.
Yeah.
And then I discovered one thing at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my gosh, that opened up a whole different energy.
Yeah.
And it really is an energy. It opened up a field. That's the only way I can describe it, a field that I could feel. And just doing that one thing. And also, surprise, surprise, I actually got a lot more done in the day than when I was multitasking like a winner, a champion.
Yeah.
So changing it over and shifting it. And I say to my beautiful people that want to embark on this path, I'm going to say to you, it takes courage,
Mm-hmm.
because you have to be prepared to step into a place that other people are not yet stepping into, meaning your friends, your family. And one of my ladies said to me, how am I going to go out with my friends now? Because I'm so different to them now. I
Hmm.
said, well, we aren't different by essence. We are the same by essence, but we are different in the way that we see ourselves, see our life, and see what life is. And she said, yeah, so how can I have my friends anymore?
Hmm.
And I said, well, you still can go with them, but you will come to a time where you'll realize that you have grown beyond them.
Yeah.
And when you have a look at life, nothing and no thing, thank you, Dr. Wayne Dwyer,
Mm-hmm.
love that man. No thing and nothing is permanent. And
Mm-hmm.
in meditation one day and speaking, and I speak to God, I'm not religious. It is through my interactions with archangels, angels, and some other things that
Yes.
I use the word God, and it sits in my heart.
Mm-hmm.
So, in speaking with God one day, I did ask about that, and the beautiful guidance back was, look around you. Nothing in nature is permanent. Nothing in nature lasts, and you are part of nature. So, when we look at our life that way, and even if you have a look at friendships across your life, they all have a time, a rhyme, a reason, a season, right?
Mm-hmm.
They all move on, and very rarely do you have a friendship that is for a lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
Rarely. You might have one. So when we can embrace that, I feel that we can then begin to embrace more of that incredible part of ourselves, of accepting that everything else we look at, it's not permanent. We
Mm-hmm.
are not permanent. So why do we get rutted into being or doing a certain way and behaving a certain way to suit everyone else?
Yes, that's true. And the identity attachments that we hold too, as a wife or mother or daughter, or an entrepreneur, any of
Mm.
those labels that come on that we identify with, because like relationships, we also may change careers as
Yes.
well. A wife may become a widow or divorcee, and the
Mm.
career I was going to be a clinical forensic psychologist now. And now I'm the founder of Lighting the Path and doing, sacred leadership work and also hosting this podcast. And there are different layers to us. We are multi-dimensional beings living multi-sensory lives. And so there is a lot, like you said in the beginning, that we're taking in, but we can also tune into what frequencies we are tuning into and what kind of field we're creating and how we manage or take care and tend to our energy field as well. Because many of the guests on the show, yourself included, myself included, and those who tend to watch and listen and tune into this, we are energetic anchors. We're here to usher in the new paradigm. And a lot of the new paradigm is actually ancient knowledge, ancient lineage, right? And helping us to remember that and to align with that, to reactivate it, and then to actually ascend and evolve with it. individually and collectively. So, Gwen, I'm really interested in your work, how, first of all, you sustain yourself, how you tend to your field, because I think there's a lot that can be shared and learned through that. And then also how you see your individual work going into more of a collective transformation, which is where I think we're headed in the next few years.
Mm. I think that is so very right. And it's a big part of the evolution of humanity,
Mm,
and having that remembrance, as you say. So for myself, Jennifer, I have lived this way a long time. So I'm no longer the doing, I be.
yeah.
And I have been this way for many, many decades. So being very much in my body and aware of my body, I tune in and I ground into my body. I'm aware of what I can sense within my body, and I utilize all of the senses of the body, which I see as gifts. So to be able to speak, to hear, to taste, to see, to feel. And I always give thanks for those gifts, because I can use them to tap into the greater multidimensional part of myself. So I
Mm-hmm.
anchor this physical self every day,
Mm,
and I clear my field in the morning, because usually at night, if you go into the dreamland, the dream plane, you can come back with residual energy.
mm,
If your mind has taken you to the lower levels of the astral plane, you can come back with a lot of junk
mm,
in your field.
mm.
And also, if you sleep next to someone else,
Yeah.
their field also works around at night and infiltrates yours, as does yours to them.
Mm-hmm.
So I begin my day by anchoring in, and I also welcome my soul into my physical self, because during the night it's gone
Mm.
and gone, woo, I'm
Yeah.
free. And it's got out and like, oh, better come back in here.
Yeah, yeah.
So I really anchor my soul into my physical self, and
Mm,
then I anchor into the earth. I set my intention and I clear my field of fields, actually, all of those beautiful energy bodies, and I make sure that I'm in divine alignment. So
mm-hmm.
I hook in, I anchor in both to the greater one, the oneness, and into the earth in my physical self. And then I move through my day with intention.
Yes.
Nothing that I be during the day is without intention. So,
Yes.
yeah.
I love that. Yeah, one of my guiding principles that I recite and keep me in alignment is that I create with intention and high vibration to serve the highest good of all. And it's not
Beautiful.
just saying the words, right? It's really feeling it, embodying it, practicing it. And that, my friends, is embodied leadership, what Gwenda just described. It's embodied leadership. Whether you're a leader or not, you're leading your life, your legacy, what you will be remembered for. And I love that it's an embodied leadership that you've described, and making sure that you follow this every morning because it's important, no matter where you are in your path. Like you said, you've been at this for decades, and still every morning, this is the
Mm-hmm.
way. This is the way. Yeah. And to end the day as well in a good way, I think is
Yes.
also important to complete the day, complete
Yeah.
this cycle, this 24-hour cycle. And then, yeah,
Absolutely.
that's
Yep. I
important
close
too.
my day by clearing my mind of
Mm-hmm.
all that is not of my highest good. That is the command that I make
Mm-hmm.
as I'm going to sleep. And I will also request, if that's what I want, I'll request where I travel in the night.
Mm-hmm.
So if I wish to sit with the angels, or I'll be on the angelic plane, or if I wish to sit with the ascended masters, I request that,
Yeah.
because that's where I like to be, where I like to hang out.
Yeah. So even in your
But if,
sleep, you're being intentional about who you're going
yes,
to hang out with and what that might
yeah.
look like. Yeah.
And I clear the day and I
Mm-hmm.
give thanks. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, there they go again about giving thanks or the gratitude, but it isn't flimsy like that. I seriously give thanks for the day that I've had, no matter what's been in it, because, you know, we know that in this life there's ups and downs, there's all sorts of things. It's like a big minestrone soup.
Mm.
So I give thanks for all that's been the day, and I close the day. So
Mm.
I never take yesterday into the new day. The day is
Beautiful.
finished.
Yeah.
Um, if there has been something in the day that needs, say I just said it hasn't been finished, but say there has been something in the day that I need to be working on the next day, then I will ask that my mind go out and bring back the solution or bring back what it is that I need for
Mm-hmm.
that specifically. And
Mm.
I will tell it that I want that answer in the morning so that
Yeah.
I can begin that. That is not carrying the heaviness of the day before. That is carrying the intention forward, and the intention
Mm.
that is an empowered intention, and it is one that is in divine union. So,
Yes.
yeah,
Oh,
closing the day.
beautiful, beautiful. And so this is how you work with yourself and your
Yeah,
guides and angels and
yeah.
all that, all the celestial beings and so on. And how do you work with others on the human plane, Gwenda? You
Love
help
it.
humanity.
Yep, love it.
Yeah.
So it's always fascinating for me how someone first comes to decide that they want to see what's more,
Hmm.
what more is there to myself. But classically for me, Jennifer, people come because life has turned upside down for them, be it a medical diagnosis that has given them a limited period of time that the doctors have decided that they can still be here,
Hmm.
or they've gone through a really bad relationship breakup. Those are usually the reasons that people turn up to me. But also, I've had male clients that have come because they've lost their business, and their business is their identity,
Uh-huh.
and they are totally shattered and
Yeah.
have no idea what. You know,
Yeah.
it's like that. So that's how generally most people turn up to me, and then I will guide them through simple practices. I cannot deal with the convoluted big words and confusing things, especially when somebody has been served a diagnosis from a doctor, or they're in a terrible despair from losing their marriage, their relationship, or their business. So I believe that simple and practical is the way to go.
Mhm.
And I begin by getting them to really come into their physical self, and so many people are not comfortable with that
Mm.
because they don't have a relationship, a loving relationship with their physical body, which then opens the door for me to show them where that's come from and what that means on a deeper level.
Huh.
And they're always, what inspires me with the work is they're fascinated. So as soon as someone is fascinated that their
Yeah.
physical body's got anything to do with anything, and they start to see the changes, then that then leads on where we can just keep growing and
Mhm.
opening. And then if need be, I will take them on a journey, a meditative journey, where I can go with them and I can see who they are interacting with. But most often, it is to meet that version of themselves that they still have angst with, that
Mm.
they still have hurt with,
Mhm.
or that they simply cannot embrace that part of themselves that they've not been able to forgive, to heal, if I use those words.
Mhm.
And some of the responses, because I can travel with them, so I can see what their interaction is with that version of themselves. And my goodness me, some of the interactions have made me cry because they haven't been good. They've been absolute denial, shunning. One
Mhm.
lady met with her little self when she was a child of 6, and the lady of current time, when her little self came towards her, she folded her arms and turned her back on her.
Mm.
And then she brought herself back into the physical, and she still had her arms folded in current time. And she said,
Mm.
I'm not talking to her. She's broken. I don't want anything to do with her. And it made me cry. I'm a very feeling person. Some
Mm-hmm.
would say I'm very straight down the line, but when it comes to soul connection, really being able to understand yourself and all those beautiful versions of yourself, those things get my heart and they make
Mm-hmm.
me cry. So I've had some amazing experiences, and that's one of the journeys I'll take people on, and getting them to understand what it means to be grounded into your physical self, grounded into this physical world, and the importance of that.
Mm-hmm.
So we do simple practices. And then, the big word coherence, which the average person is not familiar with. It's not one we're taught in schools. So using language that they are familiar with, working with them to know their heart more and what is sitting in there.
Mm-hmm.
Again, seeing amazing things around people's hearts, the energy that they have placed around their heart.
Yeah.
One lady that had put a steel vault around her heart
Mm-hmm.
because she was so heartbroken that her husband had passed. She didn't want anything to get in or get
Mm-hmm.
out
Yeah.
of her heart.
Yeah.
So working with people in those ways, depending on everyone is, we're the same but different, right, Jennifer?
Yeah. That's
We
right.
all we might have the same experience, but we don't experience it the same.
No.
So finding out with the person
Mm-hmm.
what their experience is with that. And because I can see into their fields, I can see into them and understand what it is, and I'm able to make it a unique experience for them.
Oh, beautiful, Gwenda. Beautiful. Thank you for providing that service and the stewardship. Not everyone has the capacity to carry the space for that kind of work, that deep work
Mm.
that you do. And I know you have a website. Will you want to share it
Yes,
with us?
thank you. I'd love to. It's Heal, H.E.A.L, with Gwenda.com.
Ah,
And the HEAL stands for Harmonious, Enlightened, Aligned Life.
there you
Mm.
have it. So perfect. Thank you. Thank you for that. We'll make sure that link goes in the video description so that people can
Thank you.
easily access that and explore more of who Gwenda is and what she can offer and support you, especially if you're going through an upheaval right now and use that kind of support. Yeah. Gwenda, thank you so much for joining us today on Awaken Ascend. And so welcome and appreciate each and every one of you that have been tuning in. And Gwenda, I wonder if there is anything else that you would like to share with those who are here today.
Thank you, Jennifer, and thank you for having me join you. It's been absolutely awesome to share with you and to feel your energy as we've worked through this morning. Well, this afternoon for you, this morning for me.
We're on opposite ends of the world, and that's okay. It's still
I
this moment
can,
of now. Yes.
yeah, and I can tell you the future is here
Yay.
because I'm in your future. For everyone, for you who have joined us and taken on the podcast today, my heart goes to you. For everything that is going on in your life right now for you, I ask you to place your hand on your heart, your other hand on your abdomen, and feel your way right down to your feet. And take the most beautiful breath in and say to yourself, all things pass, and in divine light I be, and today I move with ease and grace. I am blessed in all that I be, and so it is. Amen. And then embrace your day or your night in peace.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
So, thank you.